Welcome everyone to another video, and in this video we are going to show off some battles from a team posted by Yasser, fellow content creator, fellow Canadian as well. And the team consists of Shadow Ampharos, Giratina altered with Shadow Claw, Dragon Claw, and Shadow Sneak. I think in his videos he's Ancient Powered, but he's mentioned in the video that he preferred, he thinks Shadow Sneak is better, and then Tapu Fini with the standard moveset. The Shadow Ampharos does have Volt Switch, Brutal Swing, and Thunder Punch, as opposed to Focus Blast or Zap Cannon, which I thought was pretty good. It allows it to have at least a little bit more consistency. Unfortunately, I don't have a camera set up yet because I'm traveling. I'm currently in Yokohama, but staff the Pokemon World Championships for Go. So let's go ahead. Overall, I went 18 wins, 11 losses, and 1 tie. I'm gonna be showing off the last 2 sets, and I'll be also showing what people said in chat and all that stuff. And I climbed quite a bit of points. Climbed to almost 3,200. So this is a really fun team to play. Alolan Sandslash, unfortunately, is one of the core breakers for this team, and I've guessed wrong so many times on how to play this matchup. Ideally, they would go straight draw run. You would be able to outpace them, and they no shield. So typically, if they no shield, then I'll no shield here. But sometimes you want to shield. I don't know. You just try to be a little bit unpredictable. They end up throwing the Ice Punch, and I throw the Thunder Punch. The draw run would have one-shotted at that health, and I'm not going to shield. Let them throw. They actually end up making a huge mistake there, and we end up simul KO. So I'm up a shield. So I'm feeling pretty good in this situation, and we're gonna go to Giratina. First is Jellicent. This is especially with Shadow Sneak. Well, with Shadow Sneak, I guess you could also have Shadow Force. Is a pretty consistent matchup for Giratina. Not too difficult of a matchup. It doesn't really matter if you shield her or not. I do end up shielding and I get baited. I would be able to survive. I'm gonna build up some energy and then switch out, and they end up leaving because they have a Dragon Breath. Giratina versus my Tapu Fini, which wins that matchup pretty easily, especially up a shield. And I guess that's the main reason why they stayed in that matchup with a little Sandslash with double ghost is pretty interesting. Backline, pretty weak to like Obstagoon, but every team has its weakness, or Scrafty. But I guess they just switch out to Jellicent. So, and then hope that they're able to play out this matchup. I'm gonna speed this up here. Okay, nope, there you go. Here's the start of the next battle, and we're going against Premier. Okay, Clefable versus Ampharos. Some of these people I played for the second time because it's near the end of my stream, and I throw the Thunder Punch. Unfortunately, the Moonblast does a tremendous amount of damage. So I end up shielding. I'm going to overfarm just a little bit. And I throw here. And then let's see how they want to play this. They do end up shielding. I will shield again because I would not survive the Moonblast at this health. And they come into Swampert. And Swampert is like pretty tough for this team, especially down a shield. But I went to Giratina because they need to throw 2 Earthquakes to take me out. So I decided to throw the Dragon Claw. Dragon Claw and Shadow Sneak do the same damage because they're both base 50 with same type attack bonus. So it makes sense to throw the Dragon Claw just to be a little bit more energy efficient. Though I wouldn't have made 2 moves anyways, but it could at least force the Swampert to leave with a little bit less energy. And I'm going to be able to Water Gun down. I'm not too worried at this particular stage. They do throw the Hydro, and they come into Walrein. And I will reach the Thunder Punch. It wasn't a CMP, so I will be able to throw this second Thunder Punch at them, which will do at least a decent amount of damage. And they end up throwing the Icicle Spear at me. And I feel pretty confident. Obviously, their main con here is to make a catch, but actually, like when I looked at this matchup, I realized that I could survive the EQ, and I just really need to land two surfs. So I end up going for the for sure win, which was throwing the surf, and this they survive it, but they'll get water gun down, and then I just need to throw at this Clefable before it makes it to a move, which I do end up taking it out, and I should be able to water gun down this Walrein before it's able to make it to an Ice Cold Spear. And they actually still have the Swampert, which I actually completely forgot about, which you can see me friendly tapping there at the end. So worked out pretty well for me. They, yeah, it's a pretty interesting lineup. I guess they use Walrein. If it's a Charizard lead, they just switch out to Walrein and play it out that way and hope to win the switch or something. Uh, Ampharos into Walrein. This is quite a good matchup for me. So they come out into Trev, and I make a huge mistake here. You'll see how I played this matchup. I definitely should have played it differently, um, but that's okay. I yeah, you'll see. I knew it was going to be a seed bomb, but I kind of need to control. I don't need to necessarily control the switch, but the winning switch here is obviously would be very helpful. Um, the seed bomb would be close to KOing, and I would get Shadow Claw down before I make the move. So I over farm here, but I really should have thrown there. I thought I won CMP with Ampharos, but then I remember I played the matchup on the reverse the other day, and yeah, that was unfortunate for me. Unfortunately, they survived the move here as well. And this is just a C-bomb because they were dry when they threw the C-bomb at my Ampharos. So slight misplays on my side. And I'm going to try to attempt to catch, which I'm not able to, and they come to Cresselia. So if I would have thrown the move beforehand, then actually would have been a pretty close matchup because they likely would have came Cresselia into my Ampharos, and then I could have aligned, and I would have been able to make it to a brutal swing onto Cresselia, which would have did a pretty decent amount of damage. Go into Giratina. Giratina would be able to take out the Cresselia at like whatever 65, 60% health, and then it would be a pretty close matchup between Walrein and Tapu Fini. Yeah, so I'm just gonna let them take me out. It's not really too much I can do at this stage here. So misplays on my side, but that's okay. You live and learn. Definitely a winnable game for me. Um, I can win straight brutal. Well, not that one. Throw Thunder Punch, but I can win the two shield very reliably versus the Trevenant. Especially when they switch in. So yeah, yeah, could have been better, but that's okay. Um, and then it's Ampharos versus Registeel. Kind of a weird matchup for me. I sometimes think that I should go up to the Focus Blast or fake the Focus Blast, then throw. But I like to get the guaranteed damage off, anyways, before they potentially Zap Cannon me. Because this Focus Blast does quite a bit of damage. I would be able to survive. I'm going to build up some energy, and they come into Giratina, and I switch out into Tapu Fini. I bank two moves, and this is pretty okay for me. They have Shadow Sneak. Dragon Breath is very, very good situation for the Tapu Fini. So I'm going to build up quite a bit of energy before throwing, go basically to 100 energy, and then throw the Moon Blast. Each surf is 40 energy, so it's only a little bit past it, and I will be able to survive another one. My main concern is them catching the Moonblast onto Registeel, which would be pretty tough for me. And I throw the Moonblast, and they let it go, and they come into Toxicroak, and this is a very good situation for me. I come into Giratina, and I think they're trying to catch the move here, and I switch, and I'm not really too fearful of the Toxicroak's energy. Plus, I want to build up energy versus the counters anyways, and I throw the Thunder Punch. at this Registeel, and I'm gonna let this move go because I really don't need Ampharos anymore. I should be able to Shadow Claw down and take them out. You see the opponent's last ends up taking me out, and the opponent decides to leave the matchup. At that point in time, there's not really too much Toxicroak can do. They need to land like 5 Mud Bombs to take out my Giratina at that health because the counters are double resisted against an extremely tanky Pokemon in the Ultra League. So, all right, okay, we have another Registeel matchup. And for some reason the video is messing up here as I fast forward it, so I'll try to avoid doing that in the future. So, and I think the opponent threw at slightly bad time there, but that's quite all right. And I'm gonna build up some energy. I'm gonna throw the Thunder Punch, and I'll throw the second Thunder Punch at this Registeel as well. Um, get to the Thunder Punch. They end up letting it go, and they come into Kommo-o. Very interesting switch. I switch out because I don't want to get farmed down. Even though Tapu Fini has a very good matchup versus it, if it farms me down and I need it in the back, then it's kind of rough here. So I throw the Dragon Claw. I will be able to reach another Dragon Claw, and they actually end up shielding this Dragon Claw. It would do quite a bit of damage because Kommo is not the tankiest Pokemon. Um, and I guess they would have been in Thunder Punch range. I go into Tapu Fini, and the opponent decides to leave this matchup. I don't know about leaving this matchup here, just because I wait for them to see what they're going to do here. Because honestly, 2 close combats would probably do about 70% to Tapu Fini because it's not the tankiest Pokemon. So we're gonna go ahead and skip over this part here. Try to find my next opponent. And we have Ampharos into Tapu Fini, obviously a very good matchup. For me, going to be able to outpace the Tapu Fini. These Volt Switches are doing a tremendous amount of damage. They would almost for sure survive this Thunder Punch and be able to make it to the Surf. But they elect to shield. And they throw right before I make it. I probably would survive this. But I want to be able to... This Tapu Fini is kind of annoying for my Ampharos. So I will do one more Volt Switch and then switch out. And they end up no shield. They end up coming into Mandibuzz here, which is kind of insane here. So I'm predicting it's like Charizard in the back. I don't know here. This is kind of a very strange situation. So I do 2 Water Guns and throw the Moonblast. I for sure win this matchup. The Mandibuzz actually puts in quite a bit of work versus Tapu Fini. I'm really hoping the Surf KO so I don't take the second Aerial Ace. But this is a misplay on my side. I should know that it doesn't KO. Say I'm getting to the Aerial Ace, that's fine. And let's see what they do here. They're going to have to throw. I'll let this go. And then I'm going to come into Giratina because there's no chance they'll make it to the Moonblast. And we will see what's in the back. Actually, we will not see what's in the back, but likely Charizard, right? Okay. All right. And we have Ampharos into Deoxys. This is a good matchup, mostly because of the Brutal Swing. If they have Rock Slide, it becomes like a little bit more complicated of a matchup. I throw this Thunder Punch here in case they catch on something. I don't know what they would catch on, but in case they catch, I did end up revealing both moves. I will let this go. They end up throwing the Rock Slide. They will be able to counter me down beforehand, but that's quite right. And they come into Galarian Weezing, and I attempt to catch, which I do end up getting the catch and build up some energy. They throw the Brutal Swing at me, and I'm going to build up some energy. I need to throw the Surf because they do resist the Moonblast because of their poison typing. And usually they have Brutal Swing overheat. Sometimes they have Play Rough. And I throw the Surf at this Galarian Weezing, which they end up surviving. I expected the overheat here, to be honest, but they end up throwing the Brutal Swing. I'm going to do one Water Gun and then throw the Surf. This is enough to take them out. And this was insane endgame here. And they actually just came to Walrein predicting I'm going to switch, which is a really beautiful play on their side. But I have so much energy on Giratina, and this is one of the reasons why Yasser loves Giratina Altered. Is this is a negative matchup. They deal super effective damage on the fast moves and on the charge moves. Ice Cold Spear is only an okay move. Powder Snow is a pretty good move, but you can see I'm putting in work with this Giratina. These Dragon Claws are really chipping away at this Shadow Walrein. And the opponent plays this pretty nicely. I believe they actually doubled here. So I switch out into Tapu Fini. And they predict the switch there, or they were trying to catch there, I'm not quite sure. Anyways, they throw the Rock Slide. And the opponent could have taken me out, but they want farm on Walrein, which is admittedly a nice play, but they already have the move back, so I think this was unnecessary on their part. I think it would have been better for them to take me out because you'll see that I end up surviving this move here. So likely, if they would have taken me out with Deoxys, then or take out my Tapu Fini, then they could have done like two counters, and that would have been enough with the Icicle Spear because they had the Icicle Spear bank. So smart thinking, but maybe like overthinking the end game there. Um, but again, it was a logical play there. But anyways, Ampharos into uh, Walrein, and they come into this team is crazy. Weak to counter in the front, weak to counter in the back. They come into Snorlax, and then I switch out into Tapu Fini. They will be able to land the Body Slam. Unfortunately, they will survive the surf, and I would have to take a third Body Slam, which I would not survive. So I end up farming a little bit here and then throwing the Moonblast. They would survive the surf for sure. Um, so I take them out. They come into Walrein, and I guess I could have thrown the Moonblast here, but I actually was hoping. Well, no, they're really nice counting on their side. They had taken me out with the Icicle Spear. And we will see what's in the back. I throw the Thunder Punch at this regular Walrein, not Shadow. Again, they would have likely survived that move less there. That Thunder Punch. I end up calling the bait here. Um, and I shield. And I throw the Brutal Swing here just in case they decide to catch again. Likely they're going to shield anyways. And then I switch out into Giratina. I will end up shielding this Icicle Spear. I would have got farm down, so I couldn't afford the farm. Plus, one Dragon Claw looks like it would be enough to take out the Walrein. So really no point in staying. Actually, no, they end up surviving here. So, and no ancient power kind of sucks here, but let's see how I'm going to play this out. I really hope for no debuff. They throw liquidation, but they actually end up getting the debuff. I end up throwing the Dragon Claw, and I desperately need a catch here in order to try to win this game. And then I switch, and then they still end up throwing there. I guess they were fearful of the Volt Switch. I'm not quite sure. Anyways, I wait to make sure that they don't catch. I throw the Dragon Claw, and I should be able to farm down this Walrein. They definitely could have won there if they would have farmed down the Ampharos, but maybe they were too worried with the Volt Switch damage and potentially getting Shadow Claw down. I think this is this will be probably the last match I'll show here, and pick up a good lead here. I'm actually this team is super good against Charizard. All three Pokemon have play against Charizard. Obviously, Charizard has play against all three except for maybe Tapu Fini, and I will let this go. Typically, they throw Grass Knot here because 2 Grass Knots is enough to take out Shadow Ampharos. I will throw the Brutal Swing. What do I do here? Shield. And then I end up banking a move. And then they come into Charizard. I fake the Ancient Power, even though I don't have it. Build up to at least throwing the shield. And then I'm not going to shield Giratina. Again, I go up to the Ancient Power. They need 3 Dragon Claws to KO. But I feel pretty decent in this situation. And I end up no shielding. They throw on CMP. The clock should be up. And this is the advantage of like aggressively switching out. My clock is up, so I'm gonna go to Tapu Fini, Water Gun it down. They actually come into Shadow Swampert. But I'm in a very good spot here. Throw the Surf. I let this go. They do throw the Earthquake at me. I let this go as well. Let this go? Yeah, let this go. And I come into Giratina. I force them to throw. Right, they actually end up letting me get to the move, which is really nice. They're gonna have to throw. Well, I guess I beat them to the move. I beat them to the move. I didn't let them get to the move. All right, they didn't let me get to it, and I should be able to just farm down, and or make it to 2 Thunder Punches and take them out. So overall, I had a lot of really fun with this team. Definitely check out Yasser's original video with this team. If you like this video, like, comment, subscribe, and I'll see everyone in the next video.